should you watch the new live action remake of How to Train Your Dragon that's in cinemas now? If you love the originals, or if you have a kid who hasn't seen the originals or wants more, then this is a fun time at the cinema. But if you don't and you just want to rewatch the originals, you can do that as well and you're not missing too much. There's a lot of the original DNA of this. You have Dean DeBlois, who is returning to write and direct it. He did the original animated trilogy as well. He took on this project because he said he essentially didn't want anyone else to come in and ruin it. And he also doesn't particularly like live animation remakes, so he wanted to kind of handle it with kid gloves. And you can kind of see that. You've got Gerard Butler as well, who reprises his role as Stoic from the movies. And that works because when he was Stoic in the animated movies, you're like, yeah, because he's Gerard Butler, and that just fits. So it works again here. And then you've got John Powell, who returns to write the score, and it is magnificent. Much like the originals, the score is absolutely fantastic and sings throughout this. Then you've got, in terms of the new cast, you've got the likes of Mason Thames and Nico Parker in this, who've got to kind of carry the load and justify this film's existence. Mason Thames, I feel, got a really tough ask here. It's not like he doesn't do a good job. He does what he's asked here. It's just that the character of Hiccup, who plays the lead in this, essentially is a bit of a loser. He's a misfit. He doesn't fit in, and that's how he ends up kind of going on the arc that he does, in terms of having a different view of dragons than anyone else and changing everyone else's view, and also being an audience avatar. Whereas Mason Thames, you know, he's got a jawline. Like, you can imagine this kid being in the Avengers one day. And if you look at it and see him and Nico Parker as kind of his love interest, in the original trilogy, you're supposed to believe that Hiccup could never get Astrid. Whereas if you look at Mason Thames and Nico Parker, you're like, yeah, I believe that they would be a well-matched couple. I feel that you kind of need like a modern day version of McLovin or Michael Cera. Like, that's kind of the tone for Hiccup here. So not having that in Mason Thames and having him kind of be this actor they're trying to launch the franchise with and be a new star, I don't know if that fully worked for me. But they do have the likes of Nick Frost in this, who plays Goober, and he brings a lot of the kind of comedic sensibilities which can get lost in live animation remakes. You can't do that kind of goofy comedy that you can just effortlessly get away with that we'd be used to in other DreamWorks works like Shrek or Puss in Boots. So Nick Frost really helps kind of bridge that gap, but they have to lean a lot more into the dramatic sensibilities of the story. In that effort, it kind of works. It reminded me a lot of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. They have this extended sequence, which is like the Trial of Fire, which felt to me a lot like the Triwizard Tournament, watching it play out in live action, and that really worked. And the story itself, it's How to Train Your Dragon. It's one of the great modern family stories, so it drags you in and you can't help but get sucked in. Ironically, and maybe unsurprisingly, the element that worked for me, especially visually, was the CG elements of the dragons themselves in this live action environment. The one thing you get here, and the benefit of it being live action, is you get a much more defined sense of scale and size. Like, the dragons feel huge in the way that animation, everything just feels kind of larger than life. The question is, though, should you watch it? And ultimately you have to kind of ask yourself two questions. Creatively, does this offer enough that the original trilogy doesn't, and offer enough in live action that it doesn't? I'd have to say probably not on that. Like, you can still get your fix of this from the animated trilogy, but on the other hand, like I said earlier, if you or your kid have never seen How to Train Your Dragon and you want to get into it, then it's a really fun time at the movies. I really enjoyed this movie. If you love How to Train Your Dragon and you want to get more from the series, this will work as well. Ultimately, it's a really well-made retelling of a great story. So you'll have fun if you decide to go to this movie. But is it kind of original? Does it offer more than the original series does? Does it add to the story or any value beyond just being another cash cow, essentially, for Universal? Not really.